Hi, I'm Julie Poland, and this is your video mini coaching for today. Are you contemplating a reinvention? Are you contemplating changing the way you view the world, the way you operate within the world in order to get some better results, to create the life that you want, the life that you believe that you deserve? Well, I'd love to be able to tell you that the line to reinvention, from here to there, from point A to point B, is a straight line, but I would be kidding you if I were to say that. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen between here and there. Now, part of this, the extent of all this, is going to depend upon the level of reinvention you're trying to do. If you're trying to make just an incremental change, maybe some of these aren't necessarily going to apply. But if you're looking to really step it up, not just one notch, but two or three, or transform yourself in a pretty big way, here are some things to consider. First, your reinvention begins with a choice. You aren't going to just fall into it. Now, sometimes you're driven to a reinvention because external circumstances have operated that have made your current situation no longer sustainable, no longer tenable, and you have to get out of it. Other times you have to just make the decision. Things could go along in their same pattern unless you choose to have things go forward differently. So that's the moment of choice. Once you've made that choice that you're going to be at a better place, you will have likely feelings of euphoria. You'll feel an uptick in your morale, an uptick in your energy level, because you're excited about the prospects for something that's more in line with what you want and what you believe you need in your life. Then after a little bit of time goes by, you're going to bump into a wall, and that's the wall of existing habits. You may need to ditch some of those things. You may need to stop doing in order to start doing something else that's more in line with what you're trying to accomplish. So that second stage for you is going to be likely a mourning stage of sorts, while you detach from the good old days, where you didn't have to watch your consumption of peanut butter, or where you could still drink 10 cups of coffee a day, or you could still work till 8 o'clock at night every night and no one would mind. That second stage is oftentimes where people are tempted to make a new decision because it feels so hard. They feel frustrated. They miss the old ways. And of course, they haven't yet begun to see what the new path is. They've only detached themselves from the old. If you get to a point where you finally say to yourself, okay, this is the pits. This doesn't feel good, but what can I do to make it better? What can I do to get myself closer to the outcome that I really want? Now you're going to enter an experimentation phase where you're trying new things. This is not going to be a straight line up from the pit of that moment of mourning. But what it is going to be is gradual progress. Some of your experiments will work, some of your experiments won't. But ultimately, they're all leading you toward a new path that's more in alignment with the outcome that you want, more in alignment with the you that you want to become. As you sustain these behaviors long enough to create new habits, suddenly you arrive in a place where you realize, holy cow, I'm a different person now than I used to be. I'm at a different place than I used to be. I'm starting to see the results that I've always dreamed of seeing. Now you know that you've achieved that reinvention that you wanted to do. Now let me just offer this one word of warning. Achieving kind of unconscious competence, being able to now do via habit what you used to have to choose to do and what you didn't even really know how to do at all back in the olden days before you engaged in this reinvention effort. Complacency is not an attitude that you want to hang on to. Yes, be grateful for the progress that you've made so far, but keep your eyes open. Because if you are unaware, you run the risk of sliding into a place where you're now stuck and not realizing the world is continuing to progress, and you are not. So it's a cycle. It's not a once and done. It's an every now and then. And it may be that in your life or in your line of work, you have to make these adaptations. You have to make these reinventions more often than some other people might, given their circumstances, their career, and their life. But if you understand that it's not a straight line, you can have some peace with the idea that you need to get to be comfortable feeling uncomfortable for a while. It's okay. It's part of the process. And it doesn't mean that you make another decision, because that other decision is going to lead you to that process as well, just at a lower level of achievement than the one you originally committed to. I'm Julie Poland. This was your video mini coaching for today. As always, it's my goal to help you unleash the capacity to create peace and prosperity in your life, in your work. Have a great day.